Hello, I'm Erik Wait, and I've been a big fan of the Macallan single malt Scotch whiskies since the very beginning of my whiskey journey, and I really enjoyed visiting the new distillery in June 2018. However, it seems the Macallan distillery, at least their marketing department, has chosen to, pursue a different consumer base. And there are some trends that are going on in the Scotch whiskey industry in terms of changing of branding, of marketing, of labeling that is actually going across many distilleries, but the Macallan seems to be sort of the leader and others are following in their wake. One of the things that I would say I found most troubling about this is a recent commercial they put out called Make the Call, and I did a video in which I did sort of a parody of it, and I'll put a link at the end of this video to that, as sort of in a joking fashion. However, I'm a big student of marketing, branding, understanding the human aspect of the Scotch whiskey industry, and seeking to understand why people make the choices that they do in their purchases. And understanding marketing and branding is a very big part of that, which is then reflected in the way in which distilleries do their commercials, the way they do their labeling, the way they do their packaging, and so forth. So I want to take another look at this commercial, but I started watching other commercials of other products other than Scotch whiskey, and I began to see there are some similarities between the way in which other products, including perfume, high-end automobiles, even jet airplanes, things that have nothing to do with Scotch whiskey, and the way in which they target their chosen audience with their commercials and seeking to make them consumers. And what they are going after is something which is not the traditional or more common Scotch consumer. They are looking for a targeted consumer which perhaps has more expendable money and is willing to spend a lot of money on luxury items. And what they are doing is, rather than extolling the virtues and quality of the product, the whiskey, instead they're trying to convey an image which they hope the viewer and consumer, potential consumer, will want to identify with, and then will consequently want to buy the whiskey. And one of the commercials that I found that very closely resembles the Macallan Make the Call commercial is one put out by Versace. And so here's a brief clip of both of the commercials. The first is Versace and the second is the Macallan. And you can't help but see it's almost as if the same marketing department, the same people who made one commercial also made the other. And to make it even more clear, who are the two side by side? But if the commercial says absolutely nothing about the product, nothing about the qualities of the whiskey, conveys absolutely nothing about single malt Scotch, you gotta wonder just who are they targeting?
We're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Now, it's my hope that the Macallan, those who are working in their marketing department, will perhaps see this video and decide to make a change. This really is a fantastic whiskey. This is the Macallan Classic Cut. This is the 2017 version, and I already did a review of this. I really, really like this whiskey. In fact, I don't think I've ever had a bad whiskey from the Macallan. But what I really have to wonder is, where are they going? Because if they continue to pursue this route, they may end up actually losing their consumer base, their loyal fans who really, really like their whiskeys. And if others are following in their path and seeking to seek a different demographic than the loyal, faithful single malt Scotch drinkers, and rather go after another group who really doesn't particularly care about the whiskeys, but are rather trying to just sort of find something that'll fit their image, then I think they're making a huge mistake. Now, unfortunately, in my recent trip to Scotland, I went back and I first visited in June 2018, revisited recently July 2019. I happened to meet some people who are in ownership and in management of distilleries, and this was a topic that came up. And I won't name the distilleries, but it almost seemed as if they sort of out of tune. They were sort of disconnected from loyal and avid whiskey consumers. They have bought into a philosophy of marketing and branding, and they are doubling down on it and to pursue what we might consider a non-traditional whiskey market. And what I think they're doing is they're taking a huge gamble on losing a whole nother sector of consumers, because the Scotch whiskey industry is expanding like crazy. New distilleries are coming up, and there's plenty of others who are not buying into this marketing scheme. Alrighty. If you have any comments on this topic, if you have any questions, if you disagree with me, I want to know. I want to hear about it down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and other social networking channels. And then until next time, cheers. Hey, if you like my review, be sure to check out these other whiskey videos.